Sorry guys, but the live action remake of Mulan isn't very good. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's shit. I know. You really want it to be good, and you're finding a whole bunch of reasons why you think it's good. But no, you're wrong. It's not good. And Big Daddy Wayne is here to tell you why. This is absolutely not the template Disney should use for their other upcoming remakes, because they'd be even worse than they already have been. And we know what train wrecks those have been.
Ain't no passing craze.
And I just want them to leave the originals alone. Come on guys, it's time to stop.
No!
To me, this remake is just like all the others, repackaging the same story with some superficial changes to make it seem like something new, when it's really just the same story told in a worse way. But of course, I'm not gonna just sit here and say it's shitty, I'm going to show you.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Just be warned, this review has spoilers, you've been warned. Let me break it down for you. The editing. 2 minutes in, and I already know what kind of shit show I was in for. So, we introduced the little baby Mulan, and she chasing her chicken around and doing flips and jumps, just to introduce us to the concept of chi. It starts off as a cute little scene just showing us that Mulan real wild and she's do whatever the f she want, and how her behavior impacts her family and neighbors. So, she chases the chicken to the roof, and I just want you to watch this, right? See it? Okay, let me watch that again. There is a Jeremy Jan style jump cut in the middle of the action. They don't cut an angle or anything, you know. It's just the same shot, but they throw in a random jump cut for no reason. This movie cost $200 million to make, and you mean to tell me Disney couldn't find an editor who was more capable than a 13-year-old with TikTok? Wait, I take that back. Even TikTokers have better timing with their editing. You see them fire edits we put in now? And that's not even my main gripe. The editing in this movie is terrible all around. I've heard a lot of people praising the action sequences and comparing it to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What? Look at how many cuts there are. Cut, 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 cut. God, I can't tell what's going on. How can you expect me to enjoy what I'm seeing when I can't see any of it, Disney? What the f edited this movie? The movie is just shot so boring too. Now, credit where it's due. The film looks gorgeous. The color palette is great. And the costumes and sets are vivid and expressive. But for a $200 million Disney film that costs $30 on a streaming service, that is the least you could expect. All the Disney remakes, at the very least, have looked great. But Mulan 2020 never lingers on a shot long enough for you to appreciate it. It's like Disney told the editor that if he didn't use every piece of footage they shot, they would eat his hands or something. And I know a lot of people are gonna come for me and say, but Wayne, look at the shots when the guys are ninja running up the wall. That's a good shot. No, it isn't. They just rotated the camera. If that is your bar for a good shot, well, it's no wonder you like this movie. 2. The characters. Now, nobody is particularly bad in terms of acting in this movie. In fact, I'll go as far to say that everybody is just fine. Nothing outstanding, but nothing the room levels of bad either. The thing is, I just don't give a shit about any of these characters. They have no personality, and I could barely tell them apart. That's racist! This guy, his personality is fat. This guy, his personality is dumb. This one is male Mulan. This is bootleg Jason Momoa. His personality is stoic leader. This is evil Mulan. His personality is dad. Her personality is disappointed mom. Hers is sister. His personality is that he's Jet Li. And yeah, the original has 3 characters that you could describe with just their physical attributes. But I haven't seen the original Mulan in years.
Cut your flowing hair. Her beautiful hair's gone.
And I still know that the fat one was super strong, but was also a gentle and kind pacifistic soul. The skinny one was sly and mischievous, and the short one had a short fuse, but was also loyal and could be sweet to the people that he cared about. Personality. In the remake, everyone is stupid, and I don't care about any of them because none of them had any impact on me. I never bought that Mulan actually cared about any one of these people, or that they necessarily cared about her, because the whole film is just devoid of a personality. That is why the fake out death at the end infuriates me. You really thought anyone would care if anyone died in this film? But at least that would have given the movie some kind of weight, some sense of realism and groundedness, some kind of stakes. But nope, the red shirts die, the bad guys die, and the good guys win. Boring and predictable. Which brings us to the story. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that this remake improves on the story of the original because it's more grounded and realistic. Yeah, a woman that could morph into an eagle and guys that could ninja run up walls like in Naruto is realistic. But a talking dragon, that's what's going to take us out of the movie. I've also seen people saying that the movie is original and does its own thing. No, it doesn't. What this movie does is bullet point all the major story beats from the original film, and then instead of letting the story take the audience there organically, they either just soullessly reference the original, or they have characters make the dumbest decisions and expect it to make sense. Here's a good example, and I'm going to be referencing the original film because there's no other way to get my point across. In the animated original, Mulan's reveal, expulsion, and eventual save the day moment is connected through the story events as well as thematically. Out of desperation, she uses the fireworks innovatively to create an avalanche which wipes out the Huns, but also endangers Shang's life. We've seen them grow to care for and respect each other throughout the film, so it makes sense that she'd risk her own life to save his. Doing this though injures her, and because of the injury, they discover that she was deceiving them the whole time. She's supposed to get her head chopped off, but again, because of the realistic relationship we saw built up, Shang's code of honor and the fact that she saved his life,
A life for a life. My debt is repaid.
he spares her and banishes her instead. The consequence is clearly as a result of a sequence of connected actions affecting each other, as well as tying into the central theme of what it really means to be honorable. When she discovers the Huns are still alive and are going to kill the Emperor, she tries appealing to Shang, risking her life in the process, but he doesn't believe her. Of course he doesn't. She's been lying to him for months. It's not until the Huns actually attack that they realize she's telling the truth and start working with her, along with a nice piece of reincorporation from earlier in the film. So how does the new film handle it? Instead of getting caught trying to save someone, Mulan, after some convenient cannon fodder has been killed off, has a face-off with this bitch, and we get some vague shit about how her deceitfulness is blocking her chi or something. So she just lets down her hair and changes back into a woman, beats up everyone, and then we get the avalanche scene. But we could take a moment to talk about how this movie is supposed to be about female empowerment and how gal could do shit better than man. But all the time Mulan face looking grimy, and as soon as she let down her hair, homegirl have blush on she cheeks and lip gloss, hair looking like a Pantene commercial. She take a bath in them hot springs or the Phoenix Bamsi's lipstick. Is this a remake of Mulan or the 1999 classic She's All That starring Rachel Lee Cook and Freddie Prinze Jr.? Anyway, the avalanche scene is our next set of ass balls. We see her pick up 2 helmets, suddenly it have like 15, like she shadow cloned them or something. Then, instead of heading her off, they turn the catapult around and shoot it, but not at her, like 20 feet too high. Why? Why? Because it needs to have an avalanche, that is why. The original had an avalanche, so we had to put it in there. So anyway, they banish her from the army, not because of any relationship or because she saved all of them. Nah, that would actually make sense. They banish her because they establish at the beginning of the movie that if you lie, is expulsion. Conveniently. Everything else is death, but the one thing Mulan doing is expulsion. So then she f***s off to a mountain for some reason, and which bitch just tells her the plan to kill the Emperor, even though it's obvious Mulan won't join the dark side. But again, the film just needs this to happen, so it does. 5 minutes ago, they just said that if they see her again, it's off with her being. So, she just has a reasonable discussion with them and now she's the leader. Just like that.
I believe Hua Mulan.
I believe Hua Mulan.
I believe Hua Mulan.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
Nothing in this movie is earned. Nothing happens as a result of the actions of the characters. Shit just happens and we expect it to go along with it. And if you compare any of the scenes they remade from the original, the changes are worse. The original skinny dipping scene was to show an example of the camaraderie that Mulan had built with her friends. In this movie, it's to show off this man asshole, cause he come in the water and then leave 2 seconds after. I think he just pee and ride out. Instead of showing us Mulan using ingenuity rather than brute strength to overcome the obstacle course, it's just chi makes she strong. The whole chi nonsense removes so much emotional weight from this film and is just used as a crutch to wave away any questions. Whatever happened is chi. How that happen? Chi. How she do that? Chi. How we piggy so big? Chi. Another huge example of the stupidity of this movie comes at the very end. So, the sorceress sacrifices herself for Mulan so that she could save the emperor. It's supposed to be this emotional scene and we're all supposed to feel sad and recognize that in the very end, Xianyang, whoever the fuck, redeem herself. So fucking stupid. So, the Khan aims an arrow at her and then turns it at Mulan, who is miles away. And even though they've shown us what this bitch could do at least twice throughout the entire movie, she has enough time to turn into an eagle and fly in front of the arrow, but not to do the shit she was doing earlier. Who wrote this movie? Who? Why do people like this? Why? They literally show us earlier that she could use her magical dress to pull things. She could have done that here. And don't come at me in the comments saying, Wayne, she didn't have time. She just acted on instinct. Bullshit. She had enough goddamn time to transform into a fucking eagle and fly in front of the arrow. She was 2 inches away from failed Drogo. Anything else would have worked. She could have literally just say boo!
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
And it would have thrown him off. But you know what even stupider? We've seen Mulan dodge arrows in the same fucking movie. So you mean to tell me that Mulan, after they built her up as this master chi user, better than Donnie Yen and the f***ing eagle lady, and show her dodging arrows while she riding on a horseback, couldn't dodge 1 arrow? But the stupidity don't end there.
But wait! There's more!
Remember how failed Drogo whole motivation is to kill the emperor and Mulan go in there to save him? I mean, that's the whole reason she heading there in the first place, right? And the whole reason that failed Drogo shoot her arrow at her, right? So, while Mulan caressing which bitch face, what do you think failed Drogo doing? Killing the emperor, right? Right? No! For some reason, he go downstairs just so that Mulan could have enough time to reach so they could have a epic battle. Your plan was to kill the emperor. Why did you go downstairs while the one person who could stop you was distracted? Oh my god, I hate this movie so much. We're not even going into how useless that f***ing Phoenix was. Why this was even in the film? To waste money on useless CG. They take out Mushu for this. The thing just appears a few times, half the time. I don't know if it's symbolic or literal. And don't tell me it was ambiguous on purpose. The ending of Inception is ambiguous on purpose. The ending of Fight Club is ambiguous on purpose. This is just bad writing. End of story. This movie is so ridiculous that after Mulan lost her sword, I was like, don't tell me that Phoenix going to appear and transform into a sword. And right after I say that, the Phoenix appeared behind her. And it was somehow worse than if it had actually transformed into a sword. This movie is so bad that a phoenix transforming into a sword was within the realm of possibilities in this grounded realistic film. So yeah, this movie is not very good. And notice, I didn't really focus on Mushu and his absence or how it had no songs, because that's not what makes the movie bad. And hey, maybe you like it, that's fine. Some people like to eat poo. I don't judge them. I'm not going to judge you. But I remember this one time I was at a convention. Not the cool one, the Jesus one. And we had to buy food because we was hungry. And the nearest place was George's Chinese food. So we got it from there. They put the food in our box and pelt it in the microwave for like 5 minutes and then give it to us. The rice was bland and flavorless, the chicken was rubbery and overcooked, and the chow mein was slimy and disintegrated. So technically it was Chinese food, but it was really shitty Chinese food. because you don't buy Chinese food from a man named George. Watching Mulan 2020 felt like some white dude trying to make Chinese food by following a BBC recipe for fried rice and cooking it in a microwave. 3 out of 10. You get some points for the visuals and some of the action, but loses a lot more for being shitty. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video, which again gonna be long. Peace.